Hello all, I am Suyash Goyal, an educator on Unacademy. You can follow me on Unacademy Learning app where you can find my other courses as well. This lesson is on some very interesting words and we'll be talking about their meanings, their usage in sentences. We'll be talking about their synonyms and their antonyms, and all of these things we'll be talking about in one single lecture. Okay, we'll be taking some very interesting words. So please do not forget to rate, review and share this lesson, and also do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And this is my profile, and here's the link where you can just follow me for my other courses. You can find this link in the description of this video also. And also please do not forget to shoot all your questions, any doubt, any query which you are having in your mind. You can just shoot that in the comment box below and all your questions will be answered for sure. So moving on, in this lecture also we'll be talking about some different words, and here we have the first one for this lecture, that is inquisitive. Inquisitive. So when I'm talking about inquisitive, so its meaning is having or showing an interest in learning things, learning new things or others' affairs. Now when you have so much interest in learning new things, whenever you see something, you say that you ask so many questions like what is it, why is it, how is it, and all these questions when you ask, when you have so many questions about something, about some new things, you like a lot to learn new things, and you have so much interest in others' affairs, you know, what other person is doing, how they do things, and why are they doing things. So when you have interest in all these things, then that person is actually considered to be inquisitive. Okay, I have an example sentence for you all. My mother is always very inquisitive about my girlfriends. Now I think now this is the case with all my brothers who are just watching this video of mine. I think this is the case with your mothers too, right? Okay, so it's like my mother is always very inquisitive, like she is always having a lot of interest in knowing about my girlfriends. Okay, so it's an example for inquisitive. Then we have some synonyms for this inquisitive, and the first one is inquiring. Yeah, so when you inquire about something, like what's happening in your life, what's happening in others' life, or what about it, how it performs, if you are talking about any gadget, or if you are talking about any technology, how it works, what its concept. So all these things when you inquire, so you can inquire. Okay, the next is curious. So when you are curious about something, that means you are eager to know, or you are eager to learn something. Whenever you are eager to know something, whenever you are eager to learn something, that means you are curious about something. You know, children are generally expected to be curious about a lot of things, you know, so that is what we call curious, a synonym for inquisitive. Then we have the antonyms, and the first antonym is distracted. So on one hand I am saying inquisitive, like when a person is showing interest in learning things or showing interest in others' affairs. Okay, and on other hand I have an antonym, that is distracted, which means that you will not be able to show interest in others' affairs or in any new thing. Because why? Because you are unable to concentrate. Okay, you are unable to concentrate because you are already occupied by some sort of worry or by some sort of unpleasant. Okay, so when this is the case, that means you are distracted. Okay, the next is negligent. So when I'm saying negligent, it actually means when you fail to take proper care over something. When you fail to take proper care over something, like you are inattentive. So on one end I am saying inquisitive, you are showing a lot of interest, you are attentive towards something, and on other hand you are negligent, you are inattentive. Okay, you are failing to take proper care, so that is negligent. Similarly we have one more word, that is impartial. So when I'm talking about impartial, it means not favoring one side or opinion more than other involved in any argument. When I'm saying you are impartial, that means if you are sitting here and you have two choices and you need to choose one out of it, then you will not be biased. That means you will not be like, you know, you will not have some sort of favor towards any of the side. You will take a decision which will be apt to take. Okay, you will not consider other factors, like you know someone personally, like you have some soft corner for someone, so you will not consider all those factors in taking a decision. You will not be biased at all. Okay, so when you are not favoring one side or opinion more than the other involved in any argument, then you will be considered impartial. Like for example, and impartial investigation should be done on this issue. Obviously, when we have some issues, like we have some criminal issues, then all these criminal issues requires what? All these criminal issues require an impartial investigation. The investigation should be done in an impartial way. Okay. If I talk about the synonyms for impartial, then the first one I have is just. Okay. Just actually means, when you behave according to what is morally right or fair. Okay, when you behave in such a way like what is morally right and fair, you are not biased about something, when you act in a fair way. Okay, or you can say equitable. Just and equitable are synonyms. Equitable is also that thing when you are not biased on one side and you are doing what morally right and what morally fair. Okay, then we have antonyms. First one is biased, and then we have just, unjust. We have just, so we have unjust here, like when you are not morally right and fair. And biased is when you are actually on one side, you are actually unfair towards something. Okay, you are unfairly prejudiced for or against someone. Okay, because of some other factors, maybe some personal issues or maybe anything else, but you are biased towards someone. Okay, so this is how we use this antonyms. The next word is just. Now we already talked about just, so it's something like fair or morally correct. Something is just, that means something is fair and something is morally correct. Okay, so this is what just is. For example, the judge's sentence was perfectly just in the circumstances. So that means the sentence which has been given by the judge is perfectly just. That means is perfectly fair, is perfectly correct in the circumstances. So this is how we use just. Okay, then we have synonyms for just. Now obviously impartial is a synonym, we just discussed in the last word, impartial. And then we have righteous. Obviously you can say righteous also when something is just, when something is morally correct, then it is actually righteous, it is justifiable, it is morally right. Okay, then we have antonyms. First being unfair. When I'm saying just means fair, obviously I'm talking about antonym, so it should be unfair. Okay, and then we have discriminatory. So when I'm saying discriminatory, it is like showing an unfair distinction, showing an unfair distinction between different categories of people. Now you are actually supposed to judge a show or judge any competition, and if you are showing an unfair distinction between the different participants, then you are actually you are actually performing some sort of biased. You are actually a biased. Okay, you are a bit unfair and you are actually performing discriminatory practices. Okay, so this is how we use just. The next one is keen. So when I'm saying keen, that means you say keen when you strongly want to do something, when you have a strong desire to do something, when you do something in anyhow you want to do it, you have very strong desire, you want to do it. Okay, at that time I use what? I use keen. Now if I just consider one example sentence, and I have, he was not too keen on that idea. Let's say you have n number of ideas in your mind, but you don't start working on every idea. Okay, so like you work on that idea about which you are very keen. So he was not too keen on that idea. There must be some idea on which he was not very keen. He was not very strongly have any desire to do something on that idea. Okay, like if I talk about the synonyms for this word keen, then the first one is poignant. Okay, poignant, what does it mean? Poignant, it means evoking a keen sense, evoking a keen sense of sadness or regret. Okay, when you are touched by someone. Okay, when someone says something and you are touched, like pitiful. Okay, like mournful. So these are the words which are actually synonyms of poignant. So when I'm saying poignant, that means you are evoking a keen sense of sadness or regret. Okay, the next is eager. Again, when I'm saying eager, it actually means when you strongly want to do or have something, when you strongly want to do something or you strongly want to have something. Then we have the antonyms. The first one is blunt. Now what is blunt? Blunt actually means when you are you reduce the force of something, like blunted determination. You had a lot of determination in the starting, but now the determination is less. So earlier the desire was, more than enough to do that thing, but now the desire is actually not that enough. Okay, so this is how we use this blunt. And then we have insipid. So when I'm saying insipid, when you are lacking in interest in doing something. So earlier you were having a strong desire to do something, but now you are lacking in interest in doing that. So this is how you can use insipid as a antonym for keen. Okay, so that's all for this lecture. We'll be talking about some more interesting words in the next lecture. Thank you very much. This is Suyash Goyal signing off.